It's a true news dump this week with a lot on the docket, including a brief check-in on New York City's mayoral race, a massive betting scandal that involves members of the NBA and the Mafia,
La Cosa Nostra,
another French robbery,
Huh-huh.
Sacre bleu. All that and more, but first, while the visual metaphor of Donald Trump literally demolishing large sections of the White House is perfect, it's definitely getting a hell of a lot more airtime than the actual destruction of the country. And by the time this video goes up, the federal government will be entering its 24th or 25th day of being shut down with no end in sight. And while some things are still operating thanks to federal employees who are currently working without pay, many government services and facilities are not. They're running with short staff and reduced hours if they're operating at all.
This whole thing's held together by duct tape.
Now, in addition to that, many of the benefits that people rely on to survive could be unavailable in just a few days. The USDA has announced that SNAP benefits will end in November unless the government is funded and reopened.
Is that bad?
For the blissfully unaware, SNAP benefits are food stamps.
Yeah.
It offsets the cost of groceries for around 42 million low-income residents across this country. And that funding dries up on November 1st, with some recipients being told to stock up on shelf-stable items or hit up food banks.
Is that good?
Doesn't really sound like what would be coming out of a thriving empire.
42 million people struggling to get enough nutrients to stay alive? I don't know. I mean, this is a nation of what, 300 million? So
Yeah.
that's like only 1/7 or 8th.
Look,
Guys, it's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine.
It's time for you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and then take those bootstraps, put them in some boiling water, and have boot spaghetti.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Where do I get my boots? I sold my boots, so I'm going to need some boots.
Well, that's the problem. You're going to work for ICE.
Is there, I know about the food bank. Is there a boot bank?
You're going to need to do 15 push-ups because ICE is the only job there is.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So recipients of SNAP food assistance benefits across the country face a looming deadline. Come November 1st, their cards may not get refilled because of the government shutdown in Washington. Benefits were largely uninterrupted over the past 3 weeks because funding for October was allocated to states before the shutdown began on October 1st. But in a letter to SNAP state agency and regional directors on October 10th, the Department of Agriculture warned that there would not be enough funding to pay full SNAP benefits in November if the shutdown persists. Many states have announced that they plan to suspend SNAP benefits if the shutdown continues into next month. That could upend people's ability to buy food on an unprecedented scale. The program has not lapsed during any government shutdown in recent history. As November 1st approaches, some state leaders are recommending that people turn to food banks or use their remaining benefits to buy non-perishable items. If you have accrued SNAP benefits from previous months on your account, use those funds now to buy shelf-stable foods that can last through November and beyond, the Arkansas Department of Human Services says on its website. You can buy a lot of beans with those SNAP benefits.
And then you
A
can
big old sack of beans, maybe a sack of rice.
cut those beans in half and double them. That's right.
That's a Looney Tune, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely. I know I've seen a cartoon do that at some point.
And I think there's another one where they like slice a translucent piece of ham. That's how thin it is.
That an interesting thing about a lot of that classic entertainment
came out of depression.
during the Great. So like the Little Rascals. We have like no concept. We're like, funny, a bunch of kids. Like, no, the whole premise of the Little Rascals only makes sense if the world is going through a horrible economic depression.
But hey, we're gonna get some great content out of it, guys. Don't worry. And we've already ruined so many sci-fi books because just the idea of the Arkansas Department of Human Services just being like, look, there's not going to be any food for people. So
maybe you will eat the bugs. Eat the bugs.
Yeah.
Come on. You liberals love eating bugs, don't you?
It's true. Get the blenders out and start making your bug cubes.
No, this is like I said, really fucking bad.
The canary in the coal mine was the troops lining up at the food banks.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like food banks have not been pushed to their limits already now for a couple of years pretty consistently. So, yeah, just go down to the food bank that runs out of food by like 10 a.m.
Well, get there early.
But yeah, obviously, this is something you would assume would be pretty high on the president's priority list. You don't want 42 million Americans starving, but...
At this moment in time, of course, the ballroom is really the president's main priority.
Well, nevertheless.
Priorities.
Let's see what else is on Trump's priority list, because I'm looking and I'm not seeing much for the American people. Now, what I am seeing, a lot of unnecessary aid to Argentina.
But they're dying!
And also taking literal dumps on the country via slop posting and stealing directly from taxpayers in broad daylight. There's also that. But also pardoning criminals that you would think would even start to confuse Trump's most loyal supporters, because they definitely did that shit.
Yeah, but the libs are triggered, so it's fine.
True. This week started off with a commutation for George Santos, a man who is disliked by both sides of the aisle and definitely did that shit.
Did that shit and so much more, actually.
And at this point, who knows? It might actually end with a pardon for Sean P. Diddy Combs.
Fuck.
Because on Thursday, Trump continued his tour of forgiveness by issuing a pardon for Changpeng Zhao, founder of Binance, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges.
He definitely did that shit, though.
A few years back, Zhao pled guilty to money laundering and violating the Bank Secrecy Act for operating in the U.S. and allowing users to move money around regardless of who they are, where they're located, and who they're sending it to, which is exactly the point of cryptocurrency, I thought.
Yeah, he was using it as intended. What's the problem?
That's what it says it does.
We have all these laws around finances, and cryptocurrency solves that.
That was the pitch, I thought.
What?
Anyways, he pled guilty. Binance had to pay just over $4 billion in fines, and Zhao served just 4 months in prison.
Well, I bet he learned a lot in those 4 months.
But that's right. He was already out of prison as of a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But Trump pardoned him anyway, just to rub it in, I guess. To make sure that his record is squeaky clean and there were no hard feelings.
That's right.
Which is a weird thing for a president to do until you remember that the entire Trump family is massively invested in the world of crypto through World Liberty Financial, a fake-sounding but very real company which invests in currencies, platforms, has its own stable coins, meme coins, and lots of plans to offer crypto landing.
Ooh. What could go wrong?
You can't afford beans, but you know what you can afford? A loan.
I feel like
you'll get your beans and more, and then once you're back on your feet, you pay us back at 25% interest.
Look, you're going to owe us a lot of beans, but you need beans now.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, is you need beans now.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, how could this go wrong? Like, that's kind of a lot of America's thing, is like, the motto should be, how could this go wrong? Well, we don't know. We haven't tried yet.
How will this go wrong?
Then we can figure out how to
Yeah.
make it not go wrong. But you see, we have got to make a bunch of mistakes first.
So all them Trump boys, Eric, Don Jr., even Little Barron, or Big Barron, I guess.
Even Little Barron.
Long Barron.
Yeah.
They're all heavily involved in this venture that is quite literally corrupt on its face because they are directly related to the president of the United States, who almost certainly gets a cut in there somewhere too.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, he wouldn't be fucking doing it.
Uh-huh.
Should also be noted that Don Jr. is invested in numerous crypto companies and sits on the board of at least one of them as well. A paid position as a strategic advisor at prediction betting app Kalshi. So, two of the worst problems facing society today, crypto and gambling. He's doing them both.
Uh-huh.
So let's just say it's in everyone's best interest if the largest players in the crypto space are not only taken care of, they're also being completely absolved of their previous crimes, which sends a pretty clear message that it's open season once again in the world of crypto, as long as you give daddy a taste.
That's right, baby. Earlier in the week, we had Mike Johnson shamelessly defending Trump for posting an AI-generated video where he, of course, dumps shit all over the country.
He's a great comedian.
While wearing a crown and flying a fighter jet. Now we've got White House spokesperson Carolyn Leavitt having to defend this pardon, which is also, you would think, pretty indefensible. Here you go.
How do you respond to the allegations from Democrats that this is a corrupt act?
I would respond and say the president is exercising his constitutional authority to grant clemency requests.
All right. Well, anyways, if you're wondering how Trump reacted to this news that he himself created by signing the pardon.
He didn't have to do it.
He has no idea. Wait, what? I pardon a lot of people. What? But once he realizes that it's about crypto and who it is, and CNN's Caitlin Collins draws the connection to his family business, he reacts he snaps in a way that like is rare for him, because usually he does like a snappy, friendly thing.
Yeah.
He seemed genuinely angry by this.
Did it have anything to do with his involvement in your
Which one? Who is
family's?
that?
The founder of Binance. He has a involvement in your own
The
family's
recent
crypto
one, yes.
business.
I believe we're talking about the same person because I do pardon a lot of people. I don't know. He was recommended by a lot of people. A lot of people say that. Are you talking about the crypto person? A lot of people say that he wasn't guilty of anything. He served 4 months in jail, and they say that he was not guilty of anything. That what he did. Well, you don't know much about crypto. You know nothing about. You know nothing about nothing. You're fake news. But let me just tell you that he was somebody that, as I was told, I don't know him. I don't believe I've ever met him. But I've been told by a lot of support. He had a lot of support.
Mr. President, doesn't it look weird to pardon someone with ties to the financial success of one of your companies? Fuck you, bitch.
How dare you? Very unfair.
Shut up.
You fucking cunt.
But hey, if people aren't happy with George Santos and Chang Peng Zhao, you might not have to wait too long for Trump to pardon everyone's favorite hip-hop mogul and sex criminal, Sean P. Diddy Combs.
Why? Why?
Surely this will be the thing that pleases his MAGA base, the base whose biggest issue is that the wealthy and powerful aren't getting away with enough sex crimes. As recently as Monday, there were reports that Trump was considering a commutation for P. Diddy. But apparently the reaction was so overwhelmingly negative that the White House has had to reconsider and put out statements that they're not looking.
You guys didn't like that.
Well, your kids are going to love it.
Everyone disliked that? A White House official on Tuesday pushed back on a report that President Donald Trump is considering commuting Sean Diddy Combs' prison sentence as soon as this week. TMZ reported Monday that the president was vacillating on a commutation for the music mogul, citing a high-ranking White House official. There is zero truth to the TMZ report, which we would have gladly explained had they reached out before running their fake news, the official told NBC News in a statement. Casey Carver, a spokesperson for TMZ, said in a brief statement, "We stand by our story." Lawyers for Combs did not immediately return a request for comment about the disparity between the White House statement and TMZ's reporting. However, Combs' lawyers have previously told NBC News they have been pursuing a pardon for their client. Combs was convicted in July on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, but was acquitted on more damning charges of racketeering and sex trafficking. On October 3rd, a federal judge sentenced him to 50 months in prison, fined him $500,000, and ordered 5 years of supervised release.
But, yeah, you may be wondering to yourself, where me pardon?
I beg your pardon, sir?
I beg my pardon.
I beg my pardon.
Where me pardon? Well, Trump is technically providing some financial relief for some student loan borrowers.
The white ones, only the white ones.
Before anyone hands it to him, you should probably know that the Trump administration is being forced to deliver student loan forgiveness after he tried and failed to stop it in court. You wouldn't know that if you read any of the headlines about this story, which do their best to make it seem like this is some gift from a benevolent Trump. Trump giving out student loan relief.
What a generous guy. He taketh and he giveth.
No, that's not the case. Back in February, an appeals court blocked the loan forgiveness after a bunch of Republican states sued the Department of Education. Trump confirmed the move, basing it on that court's decision, and the American Federation of Teachers sued him for it. Trump and the teachers union came to an agreement that extends Biden-era loan forgiveness under certain circumstances, and now Trump's getting glazed a bit in the headlines for it.
Thank you, sir.
Though the AFT, that's the teachers union, they make it clear that this was all Trump's fault in the first place, and also his big, beautiful bill, it destroys what's left of this forgiveness by 2028.
The deal says the Education Department will continue to process relief for borrowers in income contingent repayment and pay-as-you-earn plans until the options are eliminated in 2028 under President Trump's big, beautiful bill. It also allows those who earn student loan forgiveness through qualifying payments this year to avoid taxes on the debt relief, even if the cancellation does not happen until 2026. Starting 2026, those who receive student debt relief will have to pay taxes on that money. This year, we took on the Trump administration when it refused to follow the law and denied borrowers the relief they were owed. Our agreement means that those borrowers stuck in limbo can either get immediate relief or finally see a light at the end of the tunnel. And crucially, they won't ever get taxed on that relief, said AFT President Randy Weingarten. AFT will hold the federal government to its word, and we won't stop fighting until college is affordable and taking out a student loan doesn't trap millions of Americans in a ruinous and exploitative debt cycle, she added.
I mean, maybe that's the trick. Maybe you just You just sue Trump in reverse.
Yeah.
It's so crazy it just might work. And we'll get to see another example soon because author Michael Wolff is now suing Melania Trump after she sued him for $1 billion after he publicly linked her to Jeffrey Epstein. That would be the world's most notorious sex trafficker. And in case you forgot about this, the Daily Beast ran an article and a podcast episode with author Michael Wolff, who said that Melania was pretty involved in Epstein's social circle and that she met Donald Trump through one of those connections. But after the First Lady threatened to sue for $1 billion, they removed the article.
Pussies.
Now, Wolff has filed a lawsuit of his own and seems pretty excited about the whole discovery portion of it. Mrs. Trump's claims are made for the sole purpose of harassing, intimidating, punishing, or otherwise maliciously inhibiting Mr. Wolff's free exercise of speech, said the suit, which was filed Tuesday in New York Supreme Court in Manhattan. The filing includes, as an attachment, a letter Trump's attorney, Alejandro Brito, sent to Wolff, the author of Fire and Fury, last week, demanding that he retract and apologize for public comments he has made linking his client to Epstein, the notorious sex offender, and that he make a, quote, monetary proposal to Mrs. Trump to ameliorate the harm that you have caused. And a gift, please.
How dare you insinuate that the Trump family and Jeffrey Epstein had anything to do with each other?
Yes.
That is scandalous, outrageous, and I'm gonna need some money to forget about it.
Yeah, how dare you do that and also bring money into the Trump family, thinking that there would ever be an exchange for romance in any way.
You think we're so transactional? Anyway, pay us now. The letter from Brito cited comments Wolff had made to the Daily Beast this year in a story headlined, Melania Trump, very involved in Epstein scandal, according to author, as well as comments he made on a Daily Beast podcast. The website later issued a retraction and an apology. Wolff's suit said he has accrued many hours of interviews of Jeffrey Epstein conducted over several years, and that the First Lady's legal threats are also intended to shut down legitimate inquiry into the Epstein matter, which the Trumps and their collaborators have at every turn sought to impede and suppress. In a video Wednesday on Instagram, Wolff said he hopes to be able to depose the Trumps as part of his legal action. To be perfectly honest, I'd like nothing better than to get Donald Trump and Melania Trump under oath in front of a court reporter and actually find out all of the details of the relationship with Epstein, he said.
But while we're on the topic of the Trump crime family, it obviously extends to those that he has pardoned, and that includes George Anthony DeVolder Santos, who wasted zero time stealing the spotlight in the dumbest way possible after getting out of prison. Quick reminder, George Santos is a criminal who is in prison for crimes. Crimes are his whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's honestly pretty funny having him get out of prison and dive right back into New York City politics with this absolutely brain-dead take regarding Zoran Mamdani. Sadly, it seems that my family and I will be departing the city I've called home my entire life.
Oh, no.
NYC will become a very dangerous place to live if we elect Mayor Mamdani, and that is a risk I am unwilling to take now that I want to start growing my family.
This is like an endorsement because, buddy, you are a criminal.
You are the criminal.
Zoran Mamdani is making the scammers and crooks all flee the city.
Yeah, if you leave because Mamdani gets elected, then you are helping him get criminals out of the city. So, working pretty well so far, I'd say. But yeah, the NYC mayoral race has been nuts, obviously. And the latest news is that Cuomo just landed another major endorsement that is definitely going to make him a lock for mayor.
Oh boy, who could it be?
Cuomo has received the coveted Eric Adams endorsement.
Oh fuck, Zoran's toast, man. Eric Adams, my favorite Turkish Airlines representative.
I mean, I feel like that wouldn't be something that you would want. An endorsement from the city's corrupt mayor when you're running to replace the city's corrupt mayor. But I don't know.
It's literally during the second debate when they're asked, all three candidates are asked, like, what would you accept a endorsement from Eric Adams? Cuomo's the only one that says yes. But Sliwa gets a fucking massive round of applause when he's like, hell no, he's a crook.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure this is going to work out great. There was all those Eric Adams fans who were just like, I don't know who I'm going to vote for in this election now that Eric Adams has dropped out.
Well, now I'm charged up now that Eric Adams has endorsed, who is this guy? Cuomo? I'll have to look into him, but.
Cuomo. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Sounds like not a great
Didn't we have a governor a few years back also named Cuomo? Didn't he kill a bunch of old people?
That's Chris Cuomo.
Didn't he kill a bunch of old people and, like, sexually harass like dozens of women?
Nah.
What an unfortunate last name this other Cuomo has for himself.
So, but yeah, I would think that this would not help Cuomo's
No.
whole campaign, but that's why we aren't political strategists. Though we will say, whoever came up with the strategy of keeping Curtis Sliwa in the race, thank you for that.
Put him in every debate.
Truly. Even if it's
He's a wild card.
even if it's inconsequential.
I-
Pepsi versus Coke.
He got like a lot more fucking like fashy and right wing in the second debate, I'll admit.
Sure.
Like he definitely said some things where I'm like, whoo, I do not want this man to have any
Yeah,
authority.
it's almost
But-
like he came across too likable in the first one, and he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
But even like it was like 50-50. It was like 50% just like, oh my God, this
Yeah.
guy's a fucking psycho. And the rest of it, I'm like, this guy rules a
No,
lot.
the reason that should stay in the race is because, first of all, it makes the debates funnier. Second of all, he literally is whatever votes he would get, he would be stealing from Cuomo.
Also, he, I mean, quite literally represents the interests of average New Yorkers more than Andrew Cuomo does.
Sure, yeah.
New York is full of guys like Kurt Sliwa. No, we gotta try. If a child commits a crime, we gotta lock them in a prison cell for the rest of their lives.
I live so far away,
Just
the
telling-
other side of the country, and I watched the first
watched
one.
both of
I
them.
didn't watch the second one. I watched the first one.
Curtis Sliwa has so many stories about himself or members of his family, like getting in like near-death situations where they're attacked, wounded, beaten. I mean, he's a very interesting man. I'd love to sit down and just have a beer with him and just talk his ear off and keep him
Away from the levers of
far
power.
away from the levers of power as possible.
Yeah.
Because he's mostly harmless.
Now, we're not going to go through too much of it. Obviously, it's New York City politics, but there have been some debates recently that the three remaining candidates for mayor have participated in. And during one in particular, the first one, anytime that Cuomo landed some soundbite or some gotcha question,
He activated his
Mamdani,
trap cards so many fucking times.
He would, it was like Cuomo had it scripted as if Sliwa didn't exist.
yeah.
And so every statement was made to Mamdani, and every time that happened, Sliwa would, because he was in the middle in between both of them too,
That was a brilliant thing, putting him right in the middle.
he would derail whatever Cuomo had just said to be like, and we used to beat up thugs for talking to old ladies. The question was, would you visit Tel Aviv? So yeah, anyways, he would interject, completely derail the conversation. It was, don't waste your time watching the whole debate, but it was fun.
I think it's worth it watching the whole debate.
But as a nice bonus, we did get, this is the only clip we're going to share from it. It's Sliwa,
Yes.
without his famous red beret,
Unrecognizable.
who argues that all parades have a right to exist.
I think a mayor has a responsibility, whenever possible, to march in parades, to celebrate whatever that parade is performing as. I've been a Grand Marshal of the Pulaski Day Parade. I was proud to
Are
celebrate
there
my
any that you
Polish
would
heritage.
boycott, though? I just need to move this along.
Excuse me?
Would you boycott any of the city's parades?
No, I would not boycott any parades.
Mr. Let me ask you this. Are there any parades that don't exist that you think should? Mr. Mamdani?
I haven't thought much about parades, to be honest with you.
Mr. Cuomo?
I have not thought, I don't even know what parade doesn't exist, frankly.
Could be for anything. Mr. Sliwa?
Every parade has the right to exist in New York City.
I'm sorry, but that quote consumed.
I would be there. The mayor's number one job is being the master of parades.
He really
got to be
just
there
wants-
for every parade.
He wants the sash and the baton.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he should, at the very least, like, yeah, he should get some parades.
Yeah, they should make him Rudolph in the Macy's parade.
Say what you will about him, he's the most New York guy on that stage by like a mile.
If it was a character select screen in an old
Yeah.
video game like that, he looks like New York in the 70s.
Yeah, and like they're running out of guys like him. They're a dying breed. Like it does kind of suck.
Tough guys.
But true New Yorkers who still talk like they're from New York.
Yeah.
And
But yeah,
have like kind of incomprehensible politics where like I'm pretty sure you're like super right wing, but I can't really put you in any quadrant of this. It's just an interesting type of guy, and it's cool that he's getting this time in the spotlight.
yeah. Anyways, yeah, I just had to include that because it was like the whole week all I could think about was every parade has a right to exist.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you were worried that Sliwa was going to drop out of the race and clear up some votes for Cuomo,
I ain't doing it. Fuck you.
it might happen eventually, but nope, not yet. And
I don't think he will. He's said repeatedly, no.
Yeah,
Fuck no.
He claims he's going down swinging because it's the only thing he knows how to do. Fight.
And he also, like, he's straight up acknowledged, he's like, oh, they want me to drop out to help Andrew Cuomo.
And he doesn't
You think I want to help Andrew Cuomo? I hate Andrew Cuomo. I'll stay in just to hurt Andrew Cuomo.
It's fine with us. It hurts Cuomo, helps Mamdani, and according to Politico, Curtis Sliwa would, quote, rather be fatally tortured than drop out and work for one of his rivals.
Remember the scene in Braveheart, Mel Gibson at the end when the executioner was impaling him? On Wednesday morning, the outspoken GOP hopeful invoked the Academy Award-winning epic to make clear he wasn't interested in joining a potential Cuomo administration, an offer the former governor dangled earlier this week as a carrot for Sliwa to drop out of the race. If all of a sudden the executioner would have stopped and I was on that gurney and he said, hey, you can work for Mayor Andrew Cuomo, I would say, finish the job, impale me. That will never happen, Sliwa said during a radio interview on WABC's conservative-leaning Sid and Friends. It was just the latest macabre declaration from someone who, despite polling a distant third, has become a fixation for political players hoping to stop Zoran Mamdani. Zoran Mamdani, the Democratic Socialist, who is the current favorite to win the November general election. Mamdani trounced Cuomo in the Democratic primary and has been consistently leading the ex-governor by double digits in polls. The running theory among his chief detractors is that if Sliwa were to end his campaign, the GOP nominee's supporters would flock to the moderate Cuomo. I don't even know if that, I mean, like, probably for the most part, but I don't know if it would be as much of a lock as they think it is.
Also, really funny, like, I
think a lot of people would just not vote.
I did see that, like, because Cuomo did have the support of Trump. Trump being like, yeah, well, he obviously wants Cuomo to win because they'd work together or whatever. But I guess Trump has been watching the polling. And he's like, Mamdani's going to win. He doesn't want anything to do with Cuomo now because Cuomo's going to lose.
Yeah, he doesn't like losers. It's quite a race. You know, it's New York City should be its own country in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And
they should have a character select screen for the mayor.
Did you see Curtis Sliwa went and saw the Chainsmokers?
Yeah.
Saw the Chainsmokers
under the K Bridge.
Under the K Bridge. And at the debate, the second debate, they're like, what's your favorite music venue in the city? And like Cuomo gave some bullshit.
No, he goes, I've picked up my daughters.
Yeah, like, boo. And I can't remember what Zoran said, but yeah, Sliwa was like, the Chainsmokers. Like they asked him what venue he liked. He's like, Chainsmokers. I had a great time at the Chainsmokers. I don't know if that's a group or a venue, but I had a great time.
They kept calling me Major Lazer. I didn't know what it meant.
But yeah, he posted an Instagram video of him like at the chain. I don't know why the fuck he was there. But he's like,
you gotta see
getting mobbed by people.
It's the hottest ticket in town.
I mean, if I saw Curtis Sliwa in public, I'd be excited too.
Yeah, he's
a rare kind of guy.
He's a villain in a 90s action. He really is. I can only see like
he's New York's M. Bison.
Yeah, Street Fighter and Starship Troopers. He fits right in. Anyways, yeah, fuck Andrew Cuomo. He literally went on another radio show and agreed with the host that Zoran Mamdani would cheer for 9/11 if something like that happened again.
Him and Sliwa were getting way more Islamophobic in the second debate.
Yeah, they're like trying to see what works.
He supports global jihad. It's like, whoa, what?
Yeah. Here's Mediaite. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo was harshly criticized for agreeing with a radio host Thursday that Assemblyman Zoran Mamdani would have cheered for the 9/11 attacks. It all started when Cuomo appeared on Sid and Friends in the Morning, hosted by Sid Rosenberg on Thursday. While talking about the New York City mayoral debate the previous night, Cuomo suddenly brought up the September 11th attacks. His argument was that New York deals with countless crises and other serious events, and that Mamdani would not be able to handle it all. Can you imagine Mamdani in the seat on 9/11, Cuomo said? In response, Rosenberg insisted that Mamdani would be cheering for the terror attack. Cuomo chuckled before adding, that's another problem. Okay, way to go, Mr. Cuomo. Definitely keep talking. You are doing great.
How many Muslims could there be in a city like New York City?
Cuomo's gonna find out. Great job, dude.
And once again, like, it just reiterates for the millionth time, like, Islamophobia is like the last acceptable form of bigotry that
and the R
you
slur
can
now.
have. Yeah, that too now. Anyway, moving on to an update on gambling. Come on,
It's time
what are you
to
doing?
gamble.
What are you doing? That money's burning a hole in your pocket.
Hey, what if
Put it on black.
What if it could be a little bit more, huh?
Yeah, gambling is the thing, or one of the things that kind of ruined everything. Definitely it was an omen of where
As we
things were
always
headed.
say, you used to have to go to a place or know a guy.
Yeah.
Now the place is your phone and the guy is everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know this is going to come as a shock to many of you watching, but the NBA, the National Basketball Association, has been embroiled in a scandal involving sports betting.
No!
I told you basketball was rigged.
My NBA, my above board NBA, historically.
Yeah, this was and continues to be inevitable throughout really any sport that appears on a betting app. But this story is particularly messy, and it involves players, team coaches, and apparently the Italian Mafia, which still exists. This is what they've been up to. That was the most shocking thing. I was listening to like NPR.
La Cosa Nostra.
Yeah, they called it La Cosa. They're like, it was involving the Mafia gang, La Cosa Nostra. I'm like, excuse me, that it's not, the gang isn't La Cosa Nostra. La Cosa Nostra is just Italian for this thing of ours. It's not a specific Mafia family. Correction, please. Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups, and former NBA player and assistant coach Damon Jones were all arrested Thursday morning as part of a wide-ranging gambling investigation, the FBI announced. More than 30 defendants have been charged. Both Billups and Rozier were placed on indefinite leave by the NBA on Thursday afternoon. Rozier and Billups are being investigated for different crimes. Rozier is part of an investigation into bettors using non-public information, such as when a player would miss a game or exit it early to place bets. Rozier and others allegedly obtained insider information and passed it along to bettors. On March 23rd, 2023, Rozier himself exited a game against the New Orleans Pelicans after 9 minutes and 34 seconds, during which he scored 5 points, pulling in 4 rebounds and dished out 2 assists. He allegedly shared with people close to him that he planned to leave the game early. This was his final game action of the 2023-24 season. Members of the group being investigated allegedly placed more than $200,000 in bets on Rozier's underline across multiple prop bets.
Billups, on the other hand, was allegedly involved in rigged poker games tied to the Mafia, the FBI said. Victims would be lured into playing with a well-known former NBA player in Billups, only to be cheated out of their money using technology that ranged from rigged shuffling machines to X-rays that could read cards that were face down on the table to contact lenses that could identify marked cards, according to the
Oh, that's fucking clever.
Yeah.
Probably had, okay, I get it.
The
That's
FBI said the games were tied to La Cosa Nostra, the Italian Mafia. Quote, the Mafia had pre-existing control over non-rigged illegal poker games around New York City, U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, Joseph Nocella, said Thursday. As a result, they also became involved in the rigged poker games, helping to organize the games and taking a cut of the proceedings, and working to enforce the collection of debts. Billups, however, might also be tied to sharing insider information with bettors as Blazers coach. Though he was not named in the Rozier indictment, a person referred to as co-conspirator 8 matches Billups' description. A resident of Oregon and an NBA player from approximately 1997 through 2014 and an NBA coach since at least 2021.
Could be anyone.
We're all trying to find the guy that this perfectly describes.
This is crazy because I don't know.
This is just the tip of the iceberg.
I don't know what these guys' salaries are, but they weren't hurting for money.
No.
The NBA pays pretty well, especially for its coaches.
It's about the thrill, and I guarantee you that one guy got indebted.
This is a problem going all the way, at least as far back as Michael Jordan. That was
for sure way further back. There's like refs from the NBA that have written books.
That was another thing. Well, and like a few of them have like, it's always really shady because you're like, well, you should be going to jail, and it's just like, they got like suspended for like a month or so.
This is boys being boys.
Yeah. So, which it's just funny because like basketball of all sports seems like might be the hardest.
Yeah.
Among the hardest.
I don't know. Look, here's the thing. This is just the tip of the iceberg. This is happening. The fact that you can bet on fucking like college sports and shit like that. It's just, we are right at the beginning of all of this.
Yeah, and
it is going to collapse in such a massive way.
Go on Kalshi and just gamble on anything.
Yeah, there's lots more to just this investigation in particular. We are sure that more will come out, so buckle up. You're going to be seeing a lot more of this. There was another expose earlier in the week. I couldn't remember where I saw it, but it was like about a college lacrosse team, and they were just all betting. But everyone in the country now can just pull out their phones and get in on the action, and that includes people involved in the sport itself.
I feel like, I wonder, I've never placed an online bet.
Yeah.
The entire time it's been legal. I have no desire to. I wonder how much of the U.S. population at this point is the one that I'm in who hasn't gambled.
Oh, probably. Well, definitely the majority. I would say that it is the number of people that are actively betting on these apps is probably a smaller percentage. But when you think of the entire population of the United States, it's like if like 1%.
We just need to get the addicts hooked on there and drain them of all of their valuable resources.
I mean, there's a billion other problems with the apps that allow you to gamble on like politics and everything else, just general reality. But we've already talked about that before, and now South Park has covered it. We're sure something catastrophic will come out of that too. But anyways, there's a few links to articles covering this whole betting scandal down in the description below, because what we just quoted, again, barely scratches the surface.
That was another thing at the debate. Like, they asked about gambling, and Zoran's just like, listen, personally, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But the people of New York, they voted for it, so
that's what they voted for.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, we promised you another French heist. And I guess the French are just in the mood right now because following last weekend's brazen royal jewels heist from the Louvre in Paris, another French museum was robbed of thousands of dollars or euros or whatever worth of gold and silver coins. Sacre bleu! Here is the BBC.
Le BBC. Around 2,000 gold and silver coins worth around 90,000 euros or $104,000 were stolen during a raid at another French museum, just hours after the audacious theft of some of the French crown jewels at the Louvre in Paris. The incident happened at a museum dedicated to French philosopher Denis Diderot in Landres, northeastern France, on Sunday night. When the Maison des Lumières, the House of Enlightenment, opened on Tuesday, workers noticed a smashed display case and raised the alarm, officials said. The coins were selected with great expertise, a statement to French media from the local authority said. It is the latest in a recent string of heists at cultural institutions across France. Last month, criminals broke into Paris's Natural History Museum, making off with dinosaur bones? No, just 6 gold nuggets worth around 1.5 million euros. I mean, I would have gone for the bones.
The bones.
Also in September, thieves stole 2 Chinese porcelain dishes and a vase with an estimated combined worth of 6.55 million euros from the National Porcelain Museum in the central city of Limoges. The heist that has made headlines across the globe was the brazen daylight robbery of 88 million euros worth of historic jewelry from the Louvre Museum in Paris.
And update on that, apparently it actually is way easier than we thought to steal jewels from the French. Because after doing interviews with the press, turns out their camera system was just old as fuck and not even positioned correctly. They were just up there, they're load bearing, we can't take them down, can't update them, what are you gonna do? This could have just been a massive inside job because clearly you would assume that one of the world's greatest museums would have its shit together, but I guess not. I mean, that's also one of the realities I've faced as an adult is that nobody knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Everything's held together by bubble gum and glue. And
we're all just faking it out here.
Yeah. From the same article, speaking publicly for the first time since the heist, the Louvre's director, Laurence Descartes, told French senators on Wednesday that CCTV around the Louvre's perimeter was weak and aging. The only camera monitoring the exterior wall of the Louvre where the thieves broke in was pointing away from the first floor balcony that led to the gallery housing the jewels, she said. We failed these jewels.
I'm sorry, Jules.
We failed.
Jules, if you're listening, I'm so sorry.
We failed these jewels, Descartes said, adding that no one was protected from the brutal criminals, not even the Louvre.
Yeah, maybe get those cameras upgraded.
Yeah, maybe do like a perimeter check every once in a while.
That's crazy. Like, they got to be making... I don't know, actually. It's probably a really
expensive... I'm sure it costs a lot to run.
Probably a very expensive museum to run. But, like, I don't know. I feel like being, like, the most iconic museum on Earth, you'd be able to figure out a way to make it work.
Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure, like, the French government subsidizes most of it because it is such a, like, asset. So, I don't know.
Get your shit together, Louvre.
Man.
It sounds like the whole country. The one where they stole the gold was apparently they saw there was like a giant web outage. And so, like, the cameras must be off.
The AWS one?
No, this is before that. But yeah, it was a woman went in and knew that the security cameras would be offline.
Oh, wow.
So, but that one, those were like you said before. In that case, the gold was like an artifact, and they just melted it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the fucked up thing about these. I mean, not that it fucking matters, but like these like jewel heists, they take them all apart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I gotta go see Guar tonight. So we're heading out. Please like the video. Make sure you press the like button, leave a comment, reply to a comment. There is no sponsor, so please click the join button. I know it's annoying that we ask you all the time, but if you already have done that, we really, really appreciate it. So thank you to the people who have done it. Now, watch our other episodes that are popping up over here, and we will see you soon for some weird news.
Bye-bye.
Bye!